1867 BC, 20:28 AM. In the 31st year of Hammurabi, Nimrod, Babylon annexes Larsa and all of southern Mesopotamia. He would forge another empire by his 35th year. This dating is the Amorite dating from 1898 BC, when Nimrod was Amraphel and had to begin his kingdom all over again after the 1899 BC Babel dispersion. The Amorites were a widespread and numerous people, spread throughout Canaan, Aram, Mitanni, and Babylonia. The Euphrates-Tigris basin teeming with Amorites. Nimrod grants them citizenship for their allegiance. In this year, Nimrod officially becomes Hammurabi of the Amorite dynasty of Babylon. Migrations of Amorites make Hammurabi a mighty king, and his armies are replenished virtually overnight with the power of Elam broken. In this year, the city of Nineveh is finished and Ashur fortified. These were located in the north, in what would later be Assyria. Hammurabi took on a dynastic name, Samu-Abi, which means Shem is my father. This was a lie, but many kings took fictitious names in antiquity to secure their rule over peoples of different stock. 1. The Assyrians and Babylonians. 2. Sargon the Magnificent. 1861 BC, 20:34 AM. Abraham, married to Sarah, took another wife named Hagar, the daughter of Pharaoh of Egypt. Hagar gives birth to Abraham's first son, Ishmael, the son of the bondwoman. Sarah is offended and destitute, a woman of extraordinary beauty who has been barren all of her life. This is the 86th year of Abraham's life and the 476th year of the life of Shem. In the Phoenix chronology, this is 2448, which is the year of cataclysm in ancient Egypt, being the year 1447 BC, when the Israelite descendants of Abraham depart Egypt in the Exodus after the terrible plagues and disasters. Interestingly, Ishmael's birth marks a 414-year cursed earth period to 1447 BC. Also, this is the year 1242 of the Vedic calendar, or 414 times 3 years from the start of the Black Age. 1 Genesis. 1856 BC, 20:39 AM. The Chittim made war against the children of Tubal in the 91st year of Abraham's life. The people of Chittim and Tubal were kin, being Japhethites who dwelt in ancient Italy. The Chittim took up for their dwelling the river Tiber, but the people of Tubal lived at Tuscana, known today as Tuscany. The Tubalites built the city to Sabines and were later called the Sabines, renowned for having the most beautiful daughters. The nations around would come to receive the daughters of Tubal, but after the Chittim made war against them, they refused any of the Chittim from receiving their daughters. 1 Jasher. 1855 BC, 20:40 AM. The Anunnaki planet Nibiru descends back over the ecliptic after 60 years north of it, completing its 792 years orbit. It will not be back for 732 years. A train of debris that fractured off the surface of Nibiru begins its own orbit around the Sun, breaking free of Nibiru's gravitational pull to become the Sodom-Trojan apocalypse group. 1853 BC, 20:52 AM. After the Tubalites refused the Chittim their daughters for 3 years, the Chittim went to the city of Sabines and abducted the young Sabine women when the men were out in the fields at harvest. The Sabines and their allies attacked the Chittim, but the war was abandoned when the Chittim at the walls held up the babies born from their unions. The Tubalites retreated back home, and this was the first rape of the Sabines, famous in history. The book of Jasher reads that, and the children of Chittim are the Romim, who dwell in the valley of Canopia by the river Tibru, the Romans near the river Tiber. This reveals that the rape of the Sabines, famous in Roman history, was a repeated occurrence from distant antiquity. It also demonstrates that the later copyists of the Jasher record, which was written in Hebrew, did so sometime after 753 BC, for they were familiar with the name of Rome, Romim, which did not exist priorly. The first Attans were Chittim, or Japhethites. 1 Jasher.